That's right. A very good evening to each and every one of you. Welcome in the ring wherever you're joining us from tonight. It's good to have all of you here. Before you all pouring in, Finel Innes, Tuana Green, Deb, and all you other folks. Good to have you all on the live tonight. Share that live, folks, and smash that emoji button as well. Looking for the names there. Debbie, good to have you, Debbie. Edward Brooms, good to have you, Edward, and all the other beautiful folks who are joining us this evening. We're going to make sure that we're practicing what we're preaching here, folks, that we're sharing the live and we're smashing that emoji button as well. Do that for us as you come in. You all was such a fantastic audience last night in that regard and in other ways too. And simply privileged to be back here with you all yet another evening. Do let us know if you're hearing us clear. You're seeing us clear as well. We're fired up and ready to get to it. Myrna Stobie, still in Belladrum. Still in Belladrum. Good to have you here, Myrna. And good to have you here. All of the other folks who are joining us this evening. Really good to have you. Wonderful, beautiful folks here with us. Share the live where you are. Joan Robertson. We see you there, Joan. Naomi Drunk, are you here? Out of the gym and here, or in the gym and watching us. Abida Monroe says loud and clear. Oh, we could do with people like Abida. We could work with good folks like Abida. You don't have to cue them up. Andrew says pace and power. We could work with folks like Andrew. Yeah. Patricia Kisoon. We could work with you as well. Yeah, respect and manners, Andrew says. Respect and manners. Folks, we're fired up. Don't know about you, and we are ready to go. How you all doing, man? How was the day? Was the day productive? Gemma Fernandez, you make your money. Christopher Chichester, Shavin Anthony, Abida Monroe, Rastuman, Avril, Lawrence Cummins, Ingrid King. How you all doing, man? Good folks, we trust that you all are good. We trust that you well. Wherever you're joining us from, all of you, without exception, even them boys. Even them boys. You know, I don't have it here. We didn't cue it up tonight, but the folks are telling us, hold on. Come back. The folks are telling us they are resurfacing, I think it is, Lamaha Street, tin like this, biscuit, the asphalt, biscuit like this. Then too good with the infrastructure. You know, we're too good with the maths, huh? You know, we're too good with the maths. Them with the infrastructure and so on. They're repaving, surfacing, resurfacing Lamaha Street. The folks said it asphalt 10. Looking thin out here. Ministry of Public Works, looking thin. And then some colleagues in Mabaruma said, one of the major roads there, Barabina, Hillfoot, Barabina, the road there is in a mess. 3 years and counting. The guys are trying to fix that road. Hillfoot, Barabina. Folks, we got our hands on the pulse of what's happening in this great country of ours. We got our hands on the pulse of that. But good to have all of you here with us, good folks. We are simply delighted to have all of you good folks here with us, good folks here with we. How y'all doing, man? How y'all doing now? Please and thank you. Folks, we are happy to have all of you here. Good to have you folks here with us. And we can be getting into it. If you all know our broadcast, you know where we're going by now. You know where we're supposed to be going. It's the opener. I think they get the appetite flowing. What are you all having for dinner tonight? Huh? What's sizzling? What is sizzling in the pots across the Caribbean internationally? What's going down at your end? All of you, what are y'all cooking today? Without exceptions. Without exceptions. Good to have all of you here with us, folks. We got the opener set. We have the opener set. And we turn to the mayor and city council. The mayor and city councilors of Georgetown. And they're telling us, good folks, they don't have the dunzo. They don't have the finances to really tackle solid waste in the way they want to. The government better pay up the billions that they owe to City Hall, GPL, and all the other folks. So we can move this city forward. You don't stop with this politics all the time thing, messing up everything in this country. Come on, folks. Come on now. You all see they don't have the Hannah press conference today. Take a look, folks. Take a listen. The opener City Hall.
Mayor Alfred Mentor has said that the city council's $3 billion budget is small for the things that the council should be doing.
A city of this nature would need 10, 15, $20 billion to spend. I think Mr. Rodriguez, aka Critic, would have spoken about that in that live itself, that saying that we need a lot more money.
He said that there are many challenges. Citizens pay their rates and taxes. This amount is about $6 billion.
If we could get those kind of monies in, treat with those number of issues, we'll be able to honor the kind of obligation to the citizenry as well. We're not asking for bailout or handouts. We're asking, according to law, what is required. Right?
There are garbage piles around the city. Mentor said that the council pays the contractors.
We will have to take steps as to how we treat with the contractor. If we have to replace him, we did make recommendations at the last council meeting that we will deal with this issue where we will try to fill the void of getting him up to speed, have another one of the contractor who has lesser work to deal with that issue, fix that issue, and then let him pick up back from the back end, continue onwards while we rectify this issue.
The contractor's tasked with collecting garbage in All Boys Town and its surroundings were given additional time to correct the situation.
We will not be taking that blame because we are paying handsomely to get these jobs done. And if it's it that we're not getting the delivery of that and some other contractors who may be errant, we will have to take steps to end that contract or end that relationship with those persons.
Dalcham Narayan, an executive of City Hall, said that the various collectors have been assigned wards. Recently, garbage collection was impacted by the rains. He said that the results wouldn't be the same as back in 1970s. Today, moving garbage is an expensive venture. He said that Georgetown did witness a transformation a few years ago. Then, the solid waste bill was $40 million per month.
Council can spend $23 million a month. That's $276 million a year on garbage collection. That is grossly inadequate. Right? And I'll give you a little history. Georgetown in the 1970s was 20,000 people. They were receiving, every part of Georgetown receiving one collection per week. Now in Georgetown, we have over 207,000 people inhabiting Georgetown. Right? We still giving people one collection per week.
Today, the council doesn't have that kind of money, but it's expected to deliver the service, according to Mayor Mentor.
Yep. That's it, folks. We got to improve the services, you see. But if people got to pay up the taxes, they got to pay up our taxes. How else we can do it? That's the opener, folks. That's the opener. Great to have all of you here this evening. And what are we hearing here with the Guyana Fire Service that Station Officer LaRose was to be promoted to Divisional Commander and somebody's refusing to do that? What's happening in the Guyana Fire Service? No wonder that's such a poor showing there in Bushlot quite recently. Small wonder they were such a poor showing. Folks, we can circle back to that in another broadcast. Who was supposed to be promoted, not promoted, people holding down people and so on, because they don't want them to fly too high above them and a whole set of things. We're going to circle back to that. But why y'all not on our radar? Guyana Fire Service, good evening to you. People say the best thing on the fire tender in Region 5. The only thing working is your horn. I'm telling you what the people are saying. Folks, let's touch on a couple of things around the world, around the region. Then we're going to circle back to the 592. I don't like coming too fast to the 590 because you all know once we come in there is what? So we're taking our time, good folks, and we're peeling our pint this evening. One of the things we're following here, the opposition in the UK, they're telling us they're heading for a huge win. Labour coming back. Clear the way, Labour coming back. That's how the new AFC coming back next year, good folks. That's how we come back. Clear the way. We coming back. Yeah. The fellas better pack the bags and go. They say from exit polls. This is what they're seeing here. Nice time. Nice time. And we were listening to commentary all day, watching the figures come in, hearing who's going to where, which foreign secretary and secretary of education and the various postings. Yep. It's a lot of nice time, folks. Congrats to the incoming party. If you work hard, folks, if you work hard, you should reap the benefit. You should reap the reward. But you see what I said there? You see what's the watchword and the watch phrase and the watch everything? We got to work hard. You can't be skiving and skylarking. Every day I wake up and say, what can I do to promote the coalition? What can I do? And I find something to do. Too many people skylarking and expecting somebody else must come and lift this thing up for them. If you want to do some work, folks, I'm about to start a program. Tell me you can sign up. There's boots on the ground in some community every day. We're knocking on a door, telling people of the good news. Just like Labour got some good news, that's what's happening here, folks. And they're telling us that Kerr, is it Starmer? I'm very sensitive about calling people's name incorrectly because people call mine incorrectly so often. I'm not strung up on that, right? So Mr. Starmer is about to become British next Prime Minister. So long. Farewell, Mr. What's the last spelling name? You see, don't forget that already. The king is dead. Long live the king. Sunak. Mr. Sunak. Better luck next time. The king is dead. Long live the king. This is the fellow who coming in. Am I calling it? I know some of you are brighter than me. I'll give you all that. You are brighter than me. Maybe you'll get it better. What's his name? Leon Blair. Good to have you on the live, Leon. That's the incoming Prime Minister there. Big win for Labour. Folks, but you got to work hard. These people have been in opposition for a little bit. But they've been playing. I like what Kim Walker says. Long live APNU. And I would add AFC. Long live APNU. AFC there. Please, and I'm being distracted in the studio, folks. I want you all to know. Paul Bourne. Good to see you, Paul. So Labour's coming in, so you all know. You all know. Rishi Sunak party is heading out. Labour's coming in. There's going to be a new government in Britain. Next year, there's going to be a new government here too. Via the polls, when we vote them out. Amelia Dennis, are you prepared to vote out the PPP? Kevin, are you prepared? Everett Small, Tommy Gibbs. Amelia Dennis, are you prepared to vote them out? Annette Cummins, are you prepared, Annette, to vote them out? Mona Moses, are you prepared? Folks, share that live for us. Smash that emoji button so that others get the valuable and credible information as well. Officer down, officer down, officer down. This is quite a profession. This is quite a profession, folks. Is this Baltimore? Guys, help me out. Cleveland, they tell us. 4th of July shootings in the US of A. It's a holiday. Happy 4th of July. Those of you celebrating foreign and domestic, and home and abroad, celebrating. Y'all know we celebrate everything. Being a killer. Everything. St. Patrick's Day, everything. 4th of July and all. We celebrate. 2 women in a home in Chicago shot to death on this 4th of July. A police officer serving a warrant in Cleveland shot to death this 4th of July. Yep. An armed person making threats in the Yellowstone National Park shot to death this 4th of July. Those are just a couple that we saw. Opposite down. Policemen. That's among some of the most dangerous professions you got. And locally, I keep saying all the time, it's not everybody rotten. But a good portion of them. You don't know police from thief. We showed you that recently. Policeman breaking and entering people's house with criminal elements. It doesn't leave you to repose much confidence at all in the police force. Locally, that is. But our thoughts and prayers what the report said was a flurry of shooting this 4th of July. We got to watch that, good folks. Something watching. Our thoughts and our prayers when all of these folks, friends and family, the bereaved, our thoughts and prayers go out to all of them. It's not easy. It's not easy at all. I don't want to know. Well, I can't say I don't want to know if I have, because I do have a family member too who belong to the police force. But they're among the good guys, I can tell you that. I see them on the straight and narrow. Straight and narrow, they're among the good guys. I don't talk. On the straight and narrow, thoughts and prayers that all of those we lost today, these 4th of July shootings, and I think we're coming around now to some of the other things. How am I here now? Hurricane Beryl, this was supposed to be around the region. Stay with me, folks, stay with me. This was supposed to be things we're following around the region. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. Don't take it for granted at all. Things we are following around the region is quite a few things, yeah? That's all I can tell you. It's quite a few things happening. Hurricane Beryl is one of the big ones, folks, and we spoke this morning about it touching apart. I'm being distracted here, folks. Apologies. Being distracted at this end. We spoke just today about Beryl affecting Trinidad and Barbados, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the Cayman Islands, Jamaica, affecting all these countries. There's some of what's happening around the region, good folks. Now they're telling us that it's heading to Mexico. Beryl is heading for Mexico, and we did show you this morning some of the what the Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Ralph looking a little tingish these days. But that being said, what he said about what's happened on Union Island there, not dissimilar from what happened in Carriacou, in Grenada there. Take a listen to what the Prime Minister said. Ralph Gonzalez, St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
And among the persons in the air were individuals from Nemo, including Michelle Forbes. And I spoke to Michelle this morning, Michelle Forbes. And she puts the disaster down in Union Island at 98%. She said the only reason why she's not putting it at 100% is because there are one or two houses which, and I've seen a couple of them, which remained more or less intact. But it's awful. Basically, an entire island with 2,500 people is homeless. Yesterday, we sent down food and water and other supplies, including tents and the like, cots and so forth.
Yep. Hurricane Beryl, they tell us, is one of the earliest hurricanes, the earliest hurricane in the hurricane season, and the strongest, category 5, and one of the deadliest as well, heading off now to Mexico. And as we on hurricanes, folks, the CARICOM Secretary General, Dr. Carla Benneth, says that Caribbean countries, CARICOM countries, are providing the urgent support, complementing them, that is needed to combat the aftermath of Hurricane Beryl. And this is going to take a lot of dollars to rebuild, a lot of billions to reconstruct some of these buildings and repair lives as well. Dr. Bennett talking today, press statement out of CARICOM about the urgent support. I'm happy that countries are stepping up in this way to help each other. And I'm very, very happy with the efforts that we've put together as well, not being affected by it. Thank God. Thank God for that. But being able to help people when you can help them. Not when you can get something in return. Help people where you can help them as far as possible. They say, live peaceable, live peacefully with all men. That's not what this Desiderata said. As far as possible. Live nice with your neighbors. Not only your Caribbean neighbors, your neighbor next door. Pull it back one time to your neighbor next door. Live peaceably with them. She said she was very happy that with the passage of Hurricane Beryl, CARICOM member states are coming together and providing this urgent support that is needed. That's what she said. CARICOM Secretary General Carla Bennett, the only ones who are coming to 590. Who with us tonight? All the folks who shared the live last evening, we asking for a repeat. Smash that emoji button for us. Share the live, the valid, credible information, good folks. Let's have a go at it. Mona Moses and Everett Small. Good to see each and every one of you on the live tonight. Good folks. Who else do we have? Alison Jones is here. Alicia says yes. Yeah. She says yes. Pretty Militia. Kim Walker, we see you there. Everett Small. Dan Fordyce. Enid Miggins, we see you too. And all the other beautiful folks who are joining us. Vashti McNaughton, Gail, Eva Matheson, Siobhan, Evelina Whitaker, Wernell and Brenda, Siobhan, good to have you. Kevin and McGarrett Seville said don't share. Those of you who were so gracious to us last evening. One more time, folks. It's Thursday, believe it or not. July 4th. And tomorrow is Friday. You all want to come to 592. Trouble. But let's start on a high note this evening. Pace and power. You all not too much time I say pace and power and people in the same sentence. It's gotta be the NGSA we talk about. I hope when I flip this thing, it's the NGSA I say because make it happen. You better make sure because y'all tell me the first item is PPP. So I ready for start lashing left, right, and center. Punch somebody in the chest tonight. Pace and power, they say. Pace and power. Yeah. NGSA results have been released. Listen, I saw there's a primers carrying on Facebook. It's only left a sheep backflip now. Make sure the camera's recording, eh? It's only left Odessa backflip now. I want to say congrats to Odessa, her son who got placed at Queen's College, all the other folks out here, your kids got their results. Don't be too hard on them if everybody didn't go off to Queen's College. It's only so much. There's only so many students the school will hold, you know. If a child ain't at Queen's College, maybe Bishop's or President's College for that matter. Some other school, you know. Go easy. Go easy on them, you know. Please, go easy on them. But those results have been released. Believe it or not. The NGSA, those results have been released. And again, I want to say congrats, not only to the parents, congrats to all the teachers. Again, private schools seem to be leading the way. Private schools seems to be leading the way. But even though, hold on, even though, I tell you, it's always something may come in. Good news and bad news. NGSA results released, but they're telling us, good folks, that it's only been released to students who have handed back, who have returned or replaced the loan textbooks. So if you're a parent and you wonder why you don't get the results yet, check and see if the textbook still in your children's bag or on the dresser, on the counter, on the table. Because the ministry says results will be withheld for pupils who have not returned or replaced loan textbooks. That's what the ministry is saying. I don't like this one, but I can tell you that. I don't like this one bit. But I don't want to come off on a negative note, but I don't like it one bit, folks. I don't like it one bit. Again, kudos to the teachers, the students, the schools. The results are out. That being said, they're telling us They're telling us, folks, and we're saying here, respect and manners to all of those. You give it your best, you're satisfied with the result. Respect and manners, teaching every one of you. They're telling us the top student, this child looks serious. Like, don't come wrong with funny at all. At all. Alicia, is it Skeller? She earned 503.34 marks. What's 0.34 of a mark? I don't know, but I said that's what Alicia earned. And we want to say congrats to Alicia. Congrats to her parents as well. Ring the bell one time for Alicia's parent. Ring it one time as well for her neighbors. It takes a village to raise a child. And we're going to ring it one time for Success Elementary School. Alicia's topped the entire country and belongs to Success Elementary School. That's the school she's coming out of. Best wishes to her on the next steps. I think she's going off to Queen's College. So respect and manners to all our students. Ring the bell for all our students, all the thousands of you writing this exam over the last examination period. Respect and manners to all of you, and especially Alicia, Skeller, and all the other folks who would have earned a place in one of the schools in the system. Yep, respect and manners to all of you folks. And that's what happened today. Some of what happened today. And we learned as well the hinterland seeing a little improvement. The hinterland seeing a little improvement. Adam Harris has it for us.
Education Minister Priya Manikchan has said that the various investments, textbooks, breakfast, and more trained teachers are paying off. He was addressing this ceremony to announce the results of the National Grade 6 examinations.
Those are paying dividends in students and pupils who ordinarily are not present at these kinds of ceremonies because they didn't have the same resources that private school type children would have.
The President's College is one of the schools catering for the top performers. It's offering both residential and non-residential facilities.
President's College is one of the ACE schools in Region 4. Non-residential places are awarded to candidates in Region 4 from Mahaika to Cummings Lodge, who have attained a minimum score of 480.12 marks. Residential places are offered to candidates from Regions 1, 7, 8, 9, and Riverine schools in Regions 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 10, who have attained the scores of 470 marks and above.
66 candidates have qualified for entries. The minister also announced the opening of a new school.
We're currently building 27 secondary schools across the country, and a few will be finished for September of this year. In Georgetown, there will be the St. George's School of Sciences. For a student to be eligible for this school, he or she must have been living in Georgetown and not earned a place in a national school or list A school, and gained 80% in English, 60% in math, 65% in science, or at least those grades. This school will be strictly preparing students for careers in medical sciences.
She said that this caters for students who fail to gain entry to the top schools, but show that they have the potential. She also announced the candidates who secured top places.
Region 1, Zephon Sobers from the Mabaruma Primary with 498.48 marks, securing a place at Queen's College. Zephon, you're here? Second place, Rishana France from the Mabaruma Primary with 493.32 marks, securing a place at the Bishop's High School. Daron Adams from the Sacred Heart Primary, securing a place at St. Rose's High with 488.72 marks. R.T. Prashad from Santa Rosa Primary, securing 485.72 marks from St. Joseph's High.
The top two students came from Georgetown and District 11. They were Alicia Scheller and Kaya Daniels.
Yep. That's how it went down, good folks. That's how it went down today. And congrats to all our students. All our students who have done well across the board, across the schools, across the subject, across the country. Congrats to all of your kids, folks. Big congrats to all of them. They're telling us as well that social studies is seeing a little improvement. That's what they say. Social studies is seeing a little improvement. The maths still beating we. Y'all have been good with the maths. Still beating us.
Dr. Nicole Manning, Director of Operations Examination Services, has said that the Caribbean Examinations Council was involved in marking the National Grade 6 examinations. Dr. Manning is based in Barbados.
We have a multi-layered approach to what we call standardization and marking. So that means everybody involved has to be on the same page. And that's very important because the score that is awarded to one candidate must be the same score if another person was marking would have been awarded to that candidate. So
There was an almost equal number of males and females. Dr. Manning found this unusual but heartening.
For English, we saw an overall increase in terms of the percentage candidates earning 50% and above. This, of course, is the highest over the last 5 years. So let me say congratulations to the team. And I want us, when we're clapping, to understand congratulations are to the students, of course, the teachers that prepare these students, and the parents.
She said that in social studies, some 62% of the candidates received over 50%.
Phenomenal for us is this great increase of the number of candidates receiving full marks for social studies this year, moving from 17 to 52.
She said that there was a slight reduction in the percentage of people earning above 50% in the sciences.
Now, pleasing for us is the increase for mathematics. And this is important, not only to Guyana, but to CXC, because it is something that as a region we struggle with.
More than 40% of the candidates scored above 50%, the highest over the past 5 years. Nearly 3,000 candidates received scores of between 0 and 50%. For the top 10 performers, there were 7 females and 4 males.
For the overall performance across the subjects, while math would have been the lowest, remember I would have said there would have been an increase over the last 5 years. So sometimes we beat up on ourselves, but I believe you need to celebrate small wins. That's just my little message to you.
Yep. Celebrate small wins. That is what we gotta do. Celebrate small. So we compare the teachers now. The little sap, the little freck. So somebody asking, how are we gonna meet with our teachers now and treat them with the dignity that they've reserved, that they deserve? Now that they got the government looking little nice, are we gonna treat them with dignity? Jesus of mercy. You working as a teacher. You can't say you're going out twice a month. How things are tight. Come on, Pierre Manic Channon, government of Guyana. Treat our teachers well. Come on now. The people delivering the goods clearly. So what's the matter with you all now? Yeah? What's the matter with you all now? Again, congrats to all our teachers, all our students, all our parents. Then you got the other side of tongue. Then we got the other side of tongue, folks. Spiraling crime. Thanks, Robson. He's the good. You get the negative news now. Negative stuff come. He's the good after the problem. Fed up seeing them. Fed up seeing some people. Then fed up seeing oneself. Fed up seeing them first though. Spiraling crime. We gotta do better in this country, man. We gotta do much better. How y'all doing tonight? Look, story here now. Marlon, your name calling. Marlon Vossi. Your name calling, boy. So wanted for larceny. Imagine just a couple of years ago, Marlon pleaded guilty and was remanded for armed robbery. You think he care? Stay out of damn thing so your name can call. If you went, the old people say, your name can't call, your name call him, Marlon, it's calling. Short while ago, he did time, pleaded guilty, remanded for armed robbery. Right? And hear this. Brace yourself now. 4 years ago, Marlon's 24 now. He's now wanted for larceny, breaking and entering, and discharging a loaded firearm. Yep, believe it or not, and today a bulletin was issued for his arrest. Last known address, Lot 31, number 5 Village, West Coast, Bobis. He's 24. And what's the rap sheet now? What's the rap sheet? 2021, they tell us he was charged for armed robbery and possession of an illegal firearm, pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 4 years in prison. Pleaded guilty for robbing a 49-year-old man at Good Hope on the Essequibo coast. Marlon him calling again. I don't want to put things in his life, but this is what they call a career criminal. And clearly they're working out because, if you getting catched so steady, your name getting called so steady, my God, spiraling crime and Robson doing, attending conferences overseas. That's what you're doing. Signs of the times, good folks. I tell you, once we come into 592, we can leave it stop this. Signs of the time. Signs of the time. Look where we're going now. Kate Harvester missing. Thanks, Guyana Daily News. Dio Chan. He left to go in the Baghdad to pick Corella with a male friend. Dio Chan hasn't come back yet. He has not returned. 56 years old. Dio Chan Rai. Last seen by his neighbor on June 18th. He ain't come back yet. You got a prayer in you tonight. You believe in a higher power. Remember Dio Chan Rai. Again, the report says he went to pick Corella. His son, Krishna Rai, has organized a search party, right? After finding his father's bicycle about 10 miles away. The report says he has also filled out a missing persons report at the Reliance station. And Krishna Ryan's friend, his father's friend rather, has failed to provide any information about Dio Chan Rai's whereabouts. He was recently arrested and released. We got to choose my friends so carefully. That's the only thing we really got to choose in this life. Who our friends are. We don't choose who you're born to. Thoughts and prayers with his family. Thoughts and prayers for his safe return. You got a prayer in you. Remember, good folks. Remember Dio Chan Rai. How it going? We show you how a lot of things start. But how it going? Development. Y'all hear the resignation in my voice? Did you hear it? You heard it? You hear it? How it going? We show you how a lot of things start. We told you about this young lady. Met her demise. Young mother, 19 years old. Lanita Jacobs lost her life following an emergency C-section. And we spoke about this before, I think. They said the baby boy has dengue, tested positive, fighting for his life there. When I was a student, I think I was studying communication then, doing sociology. Come across one of those theorists. Y'all help me. I know y'all sharper than this. Sharper than y'all. You see, all of life It's a struggle. 100% said no proper hospital in the fastest growing economy in the world. All of life is a struggle. He said, that's it, you know. Baby just bounced out, so whoosh, you got fight now, dengue. And this thing is real. Government ain't doing nothing. Ain't doing a damn thing. I called up with Dr. Karen Cummins today. Called with her on the East Coast. We were at Bachelor's Adventure. I used to live that piece of time. Bachelor's Adventure. Move out, they're married now. But then get serious. So serious. But the government, the PR is so poor. What interventions are available? Management, preventative things you can do. Young baby fighting. As I said, called with Dr. Cummins earlier today. Bachelor's Adventure. I said, Doc, what's happening here? What's going on?
We're hearing of this surge in dengue cases locally, a lot in Region 6. We're hearing now of the surge even in Region 4. Haven't been hearing a lot in terms of any public service announcements out of the Ministry of Health. How do you manage this outbreak, as it were, and we're now kind of easing out of COVID. Now we got dengue to consider. What are your thoughts on the spread of dengue locally?
Thank you very much for having me on your program, Cheryl, MP. As I alluded to or I mentioned in my article just a few days ago, to bring public awareness to the state of affair and the public concern of this dengue virus. As you rightly say, it's not only in Region 6 or Region 4, but it's 70% of our regions. 7 out of 10 of our regions, developmental regions, we have the dengue outbreak. And I think it's a public health concern. And I'm wondering if we are in any way, or what's our status in terms of if there's a real public health crisis, if we can handle it, you know. As you know, the Minister of Health would have said about 8 weeks ago, we have close to 3,000 cases. And you know, when you say 3,000 cases, you have to multiply that by 3, because not everyone would go to the health center or the hospital to have a test. And so out of those 3,000 cases, thereabout, 300 cases of those cases, persons have been hospitalized, you know, and there are about 3 deaths. You know, so it is a cause of concern how many more deaths you want, or how many more hospitalizations before something, you know, desperately is done. We know the disease or the virus, the symptoms are more apparent in adults, less apparent, clinical apparent in children. And of course, it ranges from fever, high-grade fever, about 40 degrees Celsius, to rash to the limbs, nausea, retroorbital pain in the back of the eye. What else? Muscle pains. You know, there are about 5 symptoms of the cough. You know, and of course, if you reach a stage where you have gotten hemorrhagic fever, where there's a lot of bleeding and you're vomiting blood now, and your blood in the stool, well, that's a cause for concern. But certainly these are preventative. It is preventative, then it's preventative, and so we need to go on the preventative aspect, or, you know, stress on the preventative aspect, you know, of this condition. And so at a macro level, I think more can be done at the macro level in terms, there must be ongoing, as you had mentioned earlier, public health attention to prevent before any more escalation. We must have consolidated measures of vector control. In fact, all hands should be on deck. We have a beautiful system here in Guyana where you have at the central level, the regional level, the municipalities, you have the NDCs. So, and in all of this tier, in these tiers, you have environmental officers. And so, you know, it's just to have intersectorial engagement and meetings, and so that we can pave the way forward. And so I am a little concerned, a little disappointed that has not been done. It just goes like it's just business as usual. until someone of your relative would come down with it, then there's a cause for concern. So we must reduce the kind of scale and the impact it would have, you know. So as I said before, at the macro level, we need to do more vector sector, you know, more surveillance, monitor. You know, we have this One Health concept, monitor the One Health concept. In terms of legislation too, we may have to look at the urban. I mean, we're building houses left, right, and center. But what are the regulations? You know, it has been said that we don't really, some persons don't follow regulations. You know, it's yes, in court, yes, we do this, but in action, we don't always follow the regulations. And so we have to look at housing policies and land use regulations, which I think is a cause for concern. We need early warning systems. I mean, we have the meteorological department. I'm not sure if health and meteorological department, if there's any consultations, you know, because they're the ones who know what's happening, global warming, you know, increase of fossil fuels, we know the temperature is rising, but we need to know where the places and the locations, you know, the spatial distribution of these mosquitoes and so forth. So it's doable. It's just to sit and to have a sensible discussions as to the way forward.
I was about to ask you, how is it transmitted for those who may not know? Because we've talked a little bit about the symptoms, we talked a little bit about the preventative measures, but in terms of spread, I was in the sea once quite recently. A lot of mosquitoes out there. I learned from colleagues at the region. This is the RDC4 Regional Democratic Council Region 4. They said we have 2 fogging machines, and they have been down, up and down, up and down. So mosquitoes is the primary way in which dengue is spread.
That's right. So you have to find out where the habitats are, and so you could be able to do larvicidal and to kill the mosquitoes of themselves. There are chemicals that you can use, organophosphate, you know, different things chemicals that you can use to kill the mosquito itself. But it's when the mosquito bites, it's an infected mosquito, female mosquito that bites the person, and then it goes into its stomach, the gut, and goes all around the bloodstream. So it bites you, and so within there's the incubation period in the mosquito itself. I think it's 8 to 12 days of the mosquito. So there's a host, the mosquito, you are the host as well as the mosquito. So there's a cycle for the mosquito as well as you, as the human part, you know. And so for us it's about, I think, 5 to 6 days for the incubation period from when you have the symptoms, so the disease.
Yeah.
I think bite to the incubation period, the incubation bite to when you come down with the symptoms and so forth. So at the mosquito level, things can be done, and at the human level, of course, you know, your repellents and your mosquito insecticide, mosquito nets can be used as well, you know. And so, of course, these stagnant, you know, drains, of course. And I want to put in a little bit for the systemic economic inequalities, and that could cause, you know, poverty, and so, you know, the areas, people don't have proper homes and those sort of things. And children, malnutrition, these are the ones more vulnerable and at risk, you know. So economics play a part as well, you know. So we talk about economic injustices here. And so we need to think about that as well.
Part of what you talked about too is the fact that the symptoms are easier to recognize in adults than in kids.
Yes.
What I wanted to ask is, you have dengue. How do you? What does the management of dengue?
Well, the truth is, it's self-limiting in that by itself it goes away. When it depends on your immune status and all of that, and then, you know, if it bites and you don't have, as I said before, the economics, you don't have nice vitamins and minerals, and your diet, basically diet. You know, if you can't afford that, you know, you're more prone, you know, more susceptible. But like everything else, if you try to use your repellent, try to with the fogging machines, if they help in these areas that's well known, and of course as an individual, your repellents and your mosquito nets, that should help to survive. And of course you don't want any stagnant drains. You want to keep it's basically hygiene. Long ago we had no problems, you recall, and if you were born long enough, we have these guys came with a brown uniform, spray your place, and they actually put a seal when they're going to come back and all of that. But that has been broken down.
Yeah.
Those measures have been broken down.
In the back door of our home.
That's right. They will come. You see them spraying the septic tank, the different places that, you know, the tires and so forth. We haven't seen that for some time now. We haven't seen that. So simple public health measures that can be done, that's doable, that can be done, that it's not being done.
Anything else you wish to add, Dr. Cummins, on this issue of the spread of dengue locally?
Well, basically, as we know, climate change has to be part of the equation, and so we have to our healthcare workers have to be trained as to the nexus between climate change and health. And we see all the increase in rising temperature causing a lot of flooding, a lot of droughts, El Nino, as we know, and so on. So when you see these persons coming in the interior, in the regions, you have to be alert as to what some of these diseases that are trending, you know, and topical diseases. So topical and tropical disease, topical issues and tropical diseases. And so I just want to tell the public that they need to be careful. Of course, you need to, like yourself, you have a part to play. It's everyone, all hands on deck. The ministry has a part to play. The regional, at the regional level, the NDC level, and you as a in the community and individual, especially if you're an influencer, you need to let persons know that they need to, you know, hygiene and keep the surroundings clean, environmental clean. Cleanliness is certainly next to godliness here, and you can prevent dengue fever.
Yep, welcome back, folks. That's what Dr. Cummins said. And we hope that you guys use that information, management, prevention. You know, dengue, it's real, deadly. Real and deadly, folks. And I saw in the comments some of you asking about the permanent secretary, who were made to understand from very credible sources today, back channels, says the permanent secretary of the Ministry of Human Services and Social Security resigned today with immediate effect. And I said this has a lot to do with a relationship with the subject minister. That's part of it. But as I said, we're trying to get some more information. That's why I don't want to. I don't have enough to deal with it, you know, in any great depth. But when the channels that you got say this is what's going down has gone down, and we were looking all day to see them say something differently. And you notice you don't see anything that said fake news. Take that as your cue. You see prayer, you see the government or anybody put out anything and say fake news. Have you seen that? Take that as your cue, folks. If we have more, we can give you guys more. And that's sad. That's one thing that's sad. The own people fed up with them. What about us? Own people fed up with them. You telling me we can't come together at new AFC and defeat this government and head back into office? By the ballot? It says sedition is treason and all kinds of things. But take care of the air. We can't defeat them via the ballot. We can't lash them in the chest with them votes. And coming like Labour, the UK there. You know it's sad? My Lord. Like young people are meeting past 30 now. And 30 might be a big age, but it's going past 30, folks. Remember the story of Ronaldo Watson? Found in his apartment, 25 years old. Found in his apartment in Commons Lodge, unresponsive. The postmortem examination, the PME, says that Ronaldo died of hemorrhagic pneumonia. And they said this is characterized by bleeding of the lungs, among other things. Hemorrhagic pneumonia. I hope I'm calling it correctly. That's what they're saying. My Lord, our young people exposed to so much. Bleeding into the lungs, they said. Symptoms include difficulty breathing and coughing, often coughing up blood. This is according to the World Health Organization. Our thoughts and our prayers go out to this young man's family. Hemorrhagic pneumonia. I'm taking my time because if you know the symptoms, you know the thing, then you know what you're looking for. Breathing difficulty, coughing up blood, bleeding into the lungs. And that's what the report says. Young Ronaldo Watson, gone at 25. Our thoughts and prayers again with his family. Found dead in that apartment in Commons Lodge, June 28th. Postmortem examination results available now. And as we ramp up, folks, He said, once we come into 592, it doesn't get any better. It always tend to get that much worse. Find the advantage in we young people. Life, people in positions of trust, taking advantage of our young people. Minibus driver accused of raping a 15-year-old, allegedly. And this is so sad when you read this account. I understand parents have to go to work. You can't watch my journal all the time. Sometimes you just trust your kids and you send them out. You just trust them and you send them out. Hear the story now. Here's some of the story. Young lady said she was out with friends, 15 years old, in Region 4 on June 7th. Out with friends, where the suspect was present. And he is a much older individual than she is. I think they said he was driving one of the vehicles that would have taken them to this location where they were. 15. He's about 30 or so. Right? She said she was given a beverage to drink. And after giving this beverage, she said she started feeling tipsy. And she told her friends she wants to go home. The suspect volunteered. She said, I didn't know he was a bad guy. He volunteered. He offered to take her home. She agreed. She said the suspect drove in a different direction. She asked him to stop the vehicle. He refused to. She said he took her to a dark place and started to knock her and slap her. And then he did this dastardly, cruel and wicked act, according to reports. Right? According to reports, the victim said she later saw her female friends turn up at the location with another male. And they went into a house. The victim was then dragged into this house. You better watch some of the friends y'all with. Right? You better watch some of the friends you're living with. They ain't up to no good. 15 years old. Taken advantage of in this most traumatic way. We got to bring back the hangman, you know. And I understand fully well, having read law, all these human rights concerns and implications. Notwithstanding that, we got to bring back the hangman. And I hope this young lady gets the kind of care and compassion and counseling that she'll need to move forward out of this issue and to lead a progressive life, empowered and moving forward. 15, big guy out with them. He ain't up to no good. He ain't up to no good. Minibus driver. Folks, pray for your kids, eh? Pray for your kids. This country is the wild, wild west. Pray for your kids. And that's going to do it for us at this end tonight. That's going to do it for us at this end. The closer. Let's end where we start. The MNCC says they're monetizing lots of their assets to bring in revenue. We said they want for cash, financial boost to cover their expense. And the finance person there, finance committee chairman, Leland Saul, spoke to this issue about monetizing some of the assets.
This city is 70 square kilometers, and we have approximately 250,000 persons living in the city. Our revenue based primarily from rates and taxes. This is where we generate most of our money from, apart from the markets. Our budget this year is about $3.2 billion, I think. And importantly to note, to run this city, we require approximately $20 billion to do it.
That was Leland Saul, the financial executive of City Hall. He was addressing a press conference hosted by the council on Wednesday. He said that the council is more than collecting garbage. It's about maintaining public open spaces, about drainage and the roadways.
We have embarked on several initiatives to see how we can increase our revenue base. There's some assets that we will monetize. For example, if you go to Princess Street where those guys were this morning, you'll see we have big open space there. We are looking for someone to invest there. We want to lease that place so we can bring in money.
He said that the council is seeking a private investor for the Stabroek Market Wharf.
We want to we want to improve the markets. We want to expand our markets vertically. And so we can address the issue of I have a term called street vending.
On Wednesday, there was a meeting with the local government administration. Saul said that he was very disappointed at the outcome.
We all sit and we contribute to discussion. It is not like what you see at Parliament. At this level, we are very close to the people whom we represent. And the animosity should be less. And therefore, we should be more sincere. We should not be victims of politics of ventriloquism, right? When we come here, we should do and play our parts.
He said that from what transpired, it appeared as though someone is controlling the local government team and pulling their strings.
They leave, and this is not the first time they have done that. And they go and embark on propaganda. And I wonder if it's an incarnation of Joseph Goebbels. A guy went there, look at a tractor that is beyond economic repair, and speaking a set of nonsense. All with the intention to give this council bad name, like if we are incompetent, like if we are no good. And you know what? They sit at the table with us. We have discussion. And they are aware of the challenges that we have.
Yep. That being said, that's our time this evening, and that's our program. We want to thank all of you for joining us. It means so much to have had thousands of you here. That's the last bell. We'll leave it there now. Thanks for joining us, each and every one of you. Let's help where we can. Marcy Agar, good to see you. Ching Sing Henry. Kevin Passad, good to see you. Oswald Hubbard, good to have you here. Michelle Gretton, good to have you too. Lucille Kendall, and I see Dolly Anderson, Rosetta. Yeah, Andre Passad, Kim, Yvette Mathis. Good to have you, Rosetta Barton, Wills Felix, and Marcy, and all the other folks who are joining us tonight. Alison Cortez. Have a fantastic evening, Marilyn Thomas, and all the other folks. Jamal Aziz, good to have you on the live tonight. Auntie Sandra, good to see you too. Aaron Barker, Linden, Olin Baker, Linda Baker, Oren Baker, all the Bakers here. Yvonne Lamy, good to have you here too. Desmond Harris, Shirin Benz. Have a fantastic rest of the evening. Thanks for joining us, folks. That's our time, and that's our program. That's our time. It doesn't want to end. Thanks, guys.